Manchester United players showed more emotion after their 1-0 defeat to Everton after the game ended than during the 90 minutes, when they could have done something about it. Crisitano Ronaldo decided to make the headlines once again after he was involved in an incident that resulted in a fan ending up looking to buy a new phone. The Red Devils are investigating the situation, even though what they should be investigating is the possibility of regular people masquerading as football players week in, week out for the last 6 years. Okay, we'll wait for you to laugh. It was funny. Anyway, Manchester United and Liverpool played out a very entertaining 2-2 draw, which means that the title race is wide open. Who will win the title? On the sidelines, they're looking to convince Mbappe into signing a new deal, but PSG are also focused on making the right moves anyway, and have already started shortlisting players they want for next season. Mohamed Salah has been a revelation for Liverpool, but the Egyptian international has said a few things about his deal at Anfield that might make the Reds faithful worry a little bit. So you know what to do. Hit this button and that button, and then dim the lights so that you're completely focused on all the important updates we're bringing you in just a few seconds. Before we get started, we want to share the sponsor of today's video. The OneFootball app is the ultimate football platform and is a must-have for every football fan so that you can follow all of your favourite leagues, teams and players all the time right from your phone. You can be sure to turn on notifications for specific players to be instantly alerted when they score a goal or when they are involved in other breaking news. It is the best and easiest way to stay up to date with everything football. Click the link in the description down below to download the app right now. You won't regret it. Landing in July 2017 from AS Roma for €42 million, Mohamed Salah only has a year left on his current deal with Liverpool. Inevitably, this situation worries the leaders of the English club, so precious is the Egyptian striker in the collective plans laid out by Jurgen Klopp. But just over 2 months before the opening of the next transfer window, Salah still has not renewed his commitment to the Reds. The inactivity has naturally started fueling the desires of several other European teams, in particular Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona. In the event of Lionel Messi leaving next summer, the current French league leaders would like to keep an eye on the situation of the 29-year-old Egyptian international. In full reconstruction after the departure of Messi, Barca are looking for a new big attacking star and would like to attract the number 11 from Liverpool. As the rumours escalate, the player concerned was asked about his future. Ahead of the Premier League title-defining clash this Sunday against Manchester City, Mohamed Salah preferred to kick in touch with his future. In negotiations with his management over an extension, the former Chelsea winger described his ongoing contract talks as a sensitive situation, but said now was not the time to be selfish and talk of his personal situation while the Merseyside club can achieve a historic quadruple. Honestly, what I can say is that there are a lot of things that people don't know. I can't be selfish now talking about my situation when we're in the most important period for the team. So I have to talk about the team and focus on what will happen to the team. That's the most important thing, he said in an interview with Sky Sports on Friday. We're sure the rumours will only gather more pace as we approach the transfer window. Speaking about the epic clash between the two teams, wow, that was quite an interesting encounter. The first half, it was Manchester City dominating the game, but the Reds had enough talent to hold them off for as long as they could. There were, of course, good chances on both ends, but if you ask us, the 2-2 draw was a fair reflection of the overall encounter. The second half looked as if it was a war of attrition between two sides that clearly didn't want to take any unnecessary risks. It was more of a game where you live to fight another day. Of course, Riyad Mahrez had a chance in the end which could have turned the tide. However, the game clearly showed that both sides deserve to be crowned champions. Sadly, we'll only have one champion, and the way it looks right now, the onus is on the reigning champions to make a strong rally in the remaining games of the campaign. Liverpool have some tough games coming up. They play Manchester United, which might not be a very tough game given how abject the residents of Old Trafford have been, but you never know what turns out in the game against Everton, who must have some wind in their sails after winning 1-0 against United. The Reds also play Tottenham and Aston Villa, so we have to say that it's advantage Man City for the moment. While they might end the season as champions of France, PSG are not happy with things. A change in management is going to happen for sure. At the same time, they're focused on tying down Kylian Mbappe to fresh terms. But the feeling we're getting is that the ship has probably already sailed. That doesn't mean that the Ile-de-France giants will just sit on their derrieres and do nothing. Leonardo, regardless of his future at the club, has already started identifying players who could help the club rule Europe for the first time ever. Looking for reinforcements for its midfielder, Paris Saint-Germain are strongly expected to welcome Paul Pogba at the end of the season. At the end of his contract at Man United, the French international should not sign a new lease and is therefore heading towards an inevitable departure, and PSG would like to team him up with Marco Verratti from next season. But according to the Italian press, the 2018 world champion could not be the only major reinforcement for the Rouge et Bleu in this sector. Indeed, according to Il Messaggero, the vice-champion of France could have his chance to play with Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. Landing in August 2015 from Genk against a cheque for €12 million, the Serbian international has an exit voucher for a transfer next summer. His agent Matej Kejman has even already reached an agreement with the management of Lazio for a change of scenery at the end of the current season. The Italian club have even already set a price for the departure of their 27-year-old midfielder, especially since his transfer could allow Claudio Lotito, the president of Lazio, to recover between 65 and 70 million euros. According to the Transalpine source, Paris Saint-Germain will be ready to put an envelope of 60 million euros on the negotiating table for Milinkovic-Savic. But PSG will not be alone in this hunt, since Man United and Juventus are also interested in the profile of the Serbian international. Paris Saint-Germain also have their eyes turned to other less expensive avenues, especially since AS Monaco midfielder Aurélien Tchouameni seems to have desires elsewhere in order to leave Ligue 1. According to the Spanish press, the 22-year-old French international would see himself joining Real Madrid or the Premier League, despite interest from Paris Saint-Germain. In case of failure, the Parisian leaders have already planned to launch an offensive for a young Brazilian talent. According to information leaked by Corriere dello Sport, Leonardo greatly appreciates the profile of Ederson, who is a midfielder for Salernitana. Landing last January from Corinthians for €6 million, the 22-year-old player does not intend to play in Serie B next season. Currently in a spot of bother in the Serie A, Salernitana are likely to play in the Italian second tier, and as such will consider letting go of their star player, whose departure will help them spend money for a quick promotion back to the Serie A. After signing Marco Verratti in similar circumstances, when Pescara were relegated in 2012, Leonardo is aiming to do the same thing. This time around, a cheque of €26 million will do the trick. Chump change for the Liga and Giants, but a lot of money for a team that will put it to good use in the summer. No. People have escaped jail time for bigger crimes, but then again, it was a rather boneheaded thing from Ronaldo. The Portuguese forward was heading back to the dressing room after another pitiful display for Man United. On the sidelines, a fan was apparently heckling him, and rather than ignoring the person, Ronaldo slapped the phone off of him and shattered the screen. A few hours later, Ronaldo took to Instagram to apologise for his actions and offered the fan to watch United play from his side. However, that was not the right way to go about things. The poor guy's already lost his phone, and now Ronaldo wants to torture the guy further by making him watch his team play again. Pretty sure that bloke would be too smart to say yes to the offer. Now, United and the police are investigating the issue, and if they were to take the law book into their hands and use it to the letter, Ronaldo could spend a few hours in jail, and that's really sad, because we wish it was Harry Maguire who did the act, since if that was the case, United might have a hope of playing in the Champions League next season. Anyway, we just wanted to rant about it, because Manchester United give us something to make fun of every week. Good times we're living in.